Hi, everybody.
Hi there. Good morning. Good morning from Chile.
Good morning.
I don't know. Where are you?
Vicki, you have guests.
Everyone. Yes, we have a guest here. We have Heather Jones, our member of the week. So welcome, Heather. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Great. Shall we say hello to our audience? And thank you, Sandy, for being with us. Azure, too. Thank you for stepping in. We have Betsy's taking a break, and Greg is doing some church duties. So yes, a different WikiTree gang, but the same old gang.
And don't worry, your normal gang will be back. The normal gang will be.
Yeah.
I'm filling in for Betsy this week and next week due to schedule conflicts. And then, as you guys know, Greg does a wonderful service to his church by providing music for weddings and unfortunately funerals. And that's what it was today. And it was somebody that he knows. So it's pretty tough.
Yeah,
pretty tough.
unfortunately.
He's such a blessing to give people the gift of music. So don't worry, your regular crew will be back. Your fun and silly crew will be back. But I'll let Vicki, I'll let you welcome everybody.
Okay, yes. The first one here was Judy Stutz. Hi, Judy. Good morning, Dee. We have Anne Fiordalisi. Woof, she says to Dee. Hi, Dee. April Dennis is here. We have, who else? Let's see. Hillary Gatsby. Hi, Hillary. Great to see you. Victor, thank you for coming. Rick Cleland from Elora, Ontario. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Sorry. Who else is here? Well, they were talking a lot before we went live. Mark Lemon, Chris Wine, Patricia Jackson, Beck Beauty. Hi, Tia. How are you doing? Chris Ferraiolo, thank you. Hi, Amanda. Amanda, APM Myers is Amanda from Australia. And we have Ozzy, Melanie. Hi, Melanie. Rick Leland, I guess I said hi before. Patty Waldron, hi, Patty. Klaas Jansen, Doris Lanier. Hey, we have a lot of people here today. Margaret Towell, John Tyner. Hi, John. How are you doing? David Church. How we got here, Genealogy. Do you know, what's your name? I don't know you. I'm sorry.
It's Brian Nash.
Do you know?
Yeah,
It's Brian Nash. Oh,
yeah, he has a YouTube channel and blog. So
yeah, of course. And we have Susie Garda. I don't know if I'm missing anyone, but welcome. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. and we'll do. I don't know, Asher. You have our agenda for today. What's next?
I think that it was question of the week first. Is that right?
So this is a very interesting question of the week that came up. Who are the groundbreaking women in your family? But let me go ahead and bring my browser up a little bit. But the reason why it was interesting is there was a discussion that I had offline. Okay, hold on. It's not scrolling. No, because it's.
No, we're seeing celebrate your ancestor.
Yeah, I got the wrong one.
We're going to change to large.
Let me stop sharing that. Okay, but the reason why this was interesting, I had a conversation offline with some friends, some genealogy friends, and the groundbreaking. How do you guys here in the studio, how do you define groundbreaking?
Someone who does something that never has done before. The first to do someone, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. What else?
Yeah, that's what I would say. Just somebody who.
And Heather, I know Heather. We've talked about this in our Appalachia Discord too. So, how would you define what a groundbreaking woman in your family would be? that you would post on G2G?
That I would post on G2G. That's probably that's why I didn't post to G2G, because I struggled with coming up with something. The first thing that comes to my mind is my 75-year-old grandmother who decided to leave with 3 of her children and travel across the Appalachian Mountains into Tennessee in December of 1826. That would be
pretty groundbreaking. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that was kind of where our conversation was going to. What is groundbreaking back in that year might be different than what is groundbreaking in this year. So my kind of roundabout way of getting to the point is, when you see these wonderful questions from WikiTree, don't always assume we're talking 1800s. It could be now. And don't be shy or embarrassed to say that this was groundbreaking today for this person. So that was kind of where it's going. But definitely, I like this. What Chris says. So someone who broke the glass ceiling and defied social norms. So that's kind of groundbreaking as well. Let's go over a few of these. You guys actually had some really good options here. I've got my sticky on. I need to take the sticky off, I think. But this one came from Oliver from the Germany project, and he kind of starts us off really well. Groundbreaking woman in my family would be his grandmother. His grandmother's great aunt, Magdalene. And let's see if he's got a photo by chance. No, but we could see where she was born in Germany, was now Germany, and traveled to the United States. So it's kind of interesting to see that I think a lot of people for groundbreaking are thinking the travel back at a certain time, because that was tough. That was really, really rough. They didn't have the planes and trains and automobiles that we have now. But what was interesting is she was married 2 months prior to giving birth, and that probably ostracized her. It socially to the family's beginning. And then they were granted a new home in Illinois. So thanks, Oliver, for sharing that. And I like this too, where Allie mentions that there were 3 sisters, my 3 great aunts and second great grandmother, who were groundbreaking for their day. So I like how everybody's following my train of thought with this too. So my second great grandmother married into the wealthy Palmer Hillard family of Chicago, who was in real estate, and spent the fortune he inherited on land speculation. And then divorced him for adultery, extreme cruelty, moved to California. Women's rights and property rights were more recognized, and began a successful career in real estate herself. So her husband lost it all. She learned everything she could, probably of what's good, what's bad, and how not to do things, and she became successful again. And then she goes ahead and mentions the other 2 women that she said. And I like this, since we are mentioning women, their father was no slouch either. But this thread is about groundbreaking women, so we'll leave it at that. So wait, I have a feeling, Azure, you're going to come up with one closer to Father's Day that might mention the fathers. And then we have Steve, who came up with my maternal grandmother. And look at the date still, 1899 to 1988. And she would not appear on any list of groundbreaking women, but she made sort of progress, which is important when many women do the same. And I just love that thought. So it's kind of, you think you're alone doing something even to this day, and many women, or you join a cause, then you could be considered groundbreaking even in your own community. So she was the daughter of a plumber and attended college in Kansas in 1920. A woman in Kansas in 1920 attending an education. Only 7% of women in the U.S. had degrees in 1920. And then, she married his grandfather, who was a former polio victim, with leg braces and cane. So that's sweet. She obviously married for love. She was like, I care about the leg braces and canes. And as my mother pointed, it was a bold move to marry a cripple in those days. This is just this is amazing.
Strong woman.
The grandfather was a success, and when he died at 57, grandmother became the clear matriarch for the next 30 years. But heaven forbid you should pick up the wrong fork or use slang words in your home. I love that too. So thanks for sharing this, Steve, because that gives a different perspective on groundbreaking. And again, we're talking about what's groundbreaking at the time that these women in your family lived. So it's not just what's considered groundbreaking by general definition. And Kathy Forbes, and if you guys have ever seen Kathy around WikiTree, she does a fantastic job with the Native American Project. And I love this one too, because she's obviously talking about somebody in her own tree, her paternal grandmother, Mary Florence Youngblood Parks, in Brooklyn, South Mississippi after the Civil War, attended a teacher's college, which most women, if you went to college around that time, it was a teacher's college. It started to become nursing kind of college later on, but most of them were teaching colleges. And then when she was 30, she was an old maid. I mean, she saw an ad seeking teachers to go to the new state of Oklahoma to teach Indians.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
For those in the U.S., you probably are like, wow, this is interesting. For those of you not in the U.S., that's scary.
That is scary.
I know back at this time, they were considered, Native Americans. We don't know much about them, and they needed the education because we were going to force that education on them whether they wanted it or not. But it looked like it went out well because she met the grandfather who was Cherokee and a Methodist minister. He was 46, and he never expected to marry. And not only did they marry, they had 2 kids. So she thought, because this is coming out more towards your territory, your side of the country, Azure, right?
Yeah.
But I appreciate when people share what they are working on and it relates to a project. So check out the Native American Project as you go along. I'm just going to skip through a couple more, but I wanted to share some of those first ones because they really hit on how we define groundbreaking and groundbreaking women. So this is a great one because while Lynn was researching her 4th grade grandfather this month, discovered he was a teacher of the 4th grade aunt, Angeline. This is where if you take the time and you really look into the records and see where the people worked and their occupation and maybe use some of Family Search's unindexed form of database in the catalogs, this is where you kind of find out more about the person and you can maybe turn some family stories into that. And that's why I kind of like that as well. So thank you, Lynn, for sharing that too. And I have to go through this because when somebody says amazing and they have a beautiful photo, you just kind of you have to go through this. So
Definitely.
This is Alexa's like the most amazing woman that I've ever known. It's my mother. Claire is all over the place. And this is a photo of her in 1938 when she was 18 and she was a 3rd year pre-med student.
Wow.
Wow.
At 18.
I know.
That's crazy.
I'm still struggling with math at 18. And then she became a foreman at the Boeing aircraft plant in Kansas and oversaw a group of men as they built the B-52s. I mean, this gives me chills. How cool is that?
Wow.
Wow.
She's very talented and having a baby, which was me, and the father being killed in World War II, she decided to put her plan to become a physician in 3rd world countries behind her. And she attended one more year of college and was a medical technician. So she still kept within that medical field, raised her child, and took care of her widowed mother. So she's a widow, raised her child, and then worked at the Children's Hospital. And here's her picture. And it's lovely.
Beautiful.
It's just lovely.
What an inspiration.
It's lovely.
Yeah. I just, this is another thing that I think is groundbreaking for in dads too, but we're talking about women this week, for moms to lose a member of your family, to lose a parent. She did not lose a child, but to lose a child or to lose your spouse. And find the courage to not only continue to go on, but improve your life and improve your family's life and take care of your family. In my background for groundbreaking women, that's groundbreaking. So I agree, and I'll have to agree with Anne. Fantastic stories here of women, and I believe there's one more that I want to showcase, but I need help. I'm going to need a little bit of help here to showcase her, and I think, help me out, Vicki. I think you said it was the last. No, that would be.
It's you just passed her.
Okay,
It's
that's
before that.
The picture from Joyce Lynn. So Eloisa?
Eloisa, yes. Eloisa Diaz Insunza. Yes, she was the first Chilean and South American woman to go to college, to attend college and pursue a professional education.
Wow.
And she studied medicine. And well, she was, of course, the only woman in her class, and she attended every class with her mother, along with her mother. And yes, of course, she had to take care of her daughter, and they would put her in the classroom with some kind of curtain or screen to separate her from men, because she couldn't distract men.
Oh my goodness.
Imagine.
What a wonderful mother too, to support her in that.
So it's too. I'm sure the mother would graduate as a doctor too, as a physician, and then Eloisa had some. She worked for the government. She founded a school board of medicine. I mean, for children, and she gave benefits to children who attended school, like dental care or some other things. And yeah, for 30 years she was. She founded kindergartens, some camps for children, school camps. And she studied in the University of Chile at the medicine faculty, which was founded, that faculty was founded by an ancestor of mine. And the university was also founded by one of other ancestors of mine. So we're kind of related with Eloisa Diaz Insunza. And of course she had that doodle on her 152 birthday.
Oh, wow.
It's so cute, all the children here with her. That's so cute.
That is cute.
It's amazing. Yeah.
That is
of course,
awesome.
we have streets with her name, a hospital, on many cities. Yeah, she was really important.
So this woman
not only for
is
Chile,
very known to you. You've probably learned about her in school and just being in your community.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
this
of course.
From Joyce Lynn. So you must be related to. Well, she just said she didn't say she's related, did she?
No, and her profile is private, but I'm guessing she's Chilean, Jocelyn Gerlach. So
that's fantastic. That's a great story.
Yeah, maybe I'll send a private message to Jocelyn
and see. So, whatever you're.
Thank you for sharing this.
Yeah, this is whatever you're doing in your research. Look for the groundbreaking people in your family, because I guarantee you, Azure's going to post up a question that you can answer. Like, any hint on what next week's question might be, Azure?
Oh no, that's something actually Awen does that one.
Oh, Awen does that one. Okay.
Yeah,
so
she posts the question of the week each week.
So then if you want to know, go ahead and DM Awen and ask in advance. Just the main thing is I when the questions are asked, don't think that it has to be something like really, really spectacular, because it could be something that's just groundbreaking in your community, your town, that year. And what was groundbreaking 1800 probably is different in 2025, but I think we still respect it. and go through. This is a good question. Is she a notable? So
Yes, she is. But I'm not sure if she has a profile. I don't think she has one.
All right. There we go.
Okay, so the
I should look for that.
Get out there and make it.
It's time to, I'm going to assume
Yes.
that you guys have seen this wonderful picture. This
Yes.
is going to be the 12 months of photo. Love these old pictures. And this is something that I really want to point out as well. If you have old pictures like this or any pictures, new pictures, family pictures, you put them on their profiles because WikiTree doesn't charge you to put pictures up on the profiles. And this is great.
Of course.
This is cousin bait. There's a lot of people on this particular photo that when tagged, they, become friend and cousin bait at that point. Okay, so let's move on to the 12 photos, which is sport. I did not have anything to add. Did you ladies play sports in high school?
Basketball.
I did not.
Basketball.
Yeah,
Not at all.
Nothing.
I was the one that avoided
Nothing.
gym. When gym class came around, I'm like, oops, I think I got to go to the tardy room.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. When I had to take credits, like sport credits at the university, I went for dancing or something like that.
Oh, that's
Same.
fun, though.
Same.
Yeah, of course.
That would be fun. I think I did racquetball only because there were like 2 racquetball courts and there were like 50 people signed up. So I knew my time on the court was very low.
I also took bowling.
Oh, I could do bowling. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good sport.
That was one of my PE
Fun.
credits at college.
But you bring up another good point. So a sport is not always going to be like national sport in your community or location. It could be whatever is a sport. If you fast walk, I know somebody in here that does go to the mall and does the silver sneakers and they fast walk in the mall. So that's a sport as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So
chess.
Chess
is also considered a sport, right? Sorry.
What is?
Chess is also considered a sport in school as a credit.
It should be. It uses a lot of energy, so it should be.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that a lot of people love bowling. So that's kind of like very So Dee's like, I couldn't decide if my maternal grandfather, Milan Milovich, I'll say that wrong, would be classified as an athlete or an entertainer, but could be both. And it says, forgive me if this is in the wrong place, but you'll find a photo in his profile.
Oh yeah, I think they covered that one last
did
week.
they?
Yes,
they did.
Yeah,
So what
it's strange because we saw that. We talked about the Sokol.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what Sokol was, but we figured it out.
What is it?
It's a kind of a discipline. Yeah, it says so in the post. I guess they edited it and added what Sokol is.
And then
That's a new one.
This is a new one. And this is David. Thank you, David, for putting a new one up. My family isn't exactly known for their athletic prowess. So when it comes to sport and leisure, we tend to favor leisure. I'm okay with that. I rode a bit for my college crew team, and Dad raced cars, and Mom played some softball.
Wow.
So that's pretty interesting as well. But my great-grandfather, Claude Randall, attended the Illinois Normal School in DeKalb University. As a sophomore, played center field on the school's baseball team. So let's see. Below's a picture of the 1903 baseball team and only picture he's ever seen of his great-grandfather.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And he still has yet to determine which one is him.
That's sad. No.
But this is cousin bait, right? Friend and cousin bait. So if you put that up,
it's perfect.
Then that could, somebody else might know somebody, and then they go, oh yeah, that's his best friend, and so at least you can eliminate people maybe.
Share it out on Facebook or blog about it or ask for help identifying people.
That's a fantastic idea. That's a great idea.
Yes.
as we go down, Vicki, thank you for throwing this one up here. Willie Fortress. I love every time you say the name Fortress. I love how you say it because it just sounds so regal. It sounds so, South American name that comes up. But he was a German sailor, and probably
Yes. It's something like Borges,
it's
something like that.
in around 1920, arrived in Chile, became a founder of a sports club that were they Olympic bound? Was that their goal? Was to just have
No,
fun or do the Olympics?
I've seen photos of competitions, but not as big as Olympics. But they had a lot of disciplines like tennis, like when you throw this ball, it's put. How do you call it? Shot put. Athletics, and if you zoom in that picture, you can see on the floor you have weights, and that kind of ball that you throw, like you do that and you throw it. So those were the competitions they did, and it's called Germania because Germania is Germany, though in Spanish we say Alemania. But they called it Germania because probably was founded, the club, by any other German sailors too. They had a group. They had to stay here because of the First World War.
And did this create your line in South America? Yeah.
Yes, we're the only ones.
And which one is your ancestor?
Oh, it's the fourth from the left.
So right here, in the darker shoes.
Oh, no, sorry, from the right. from my right.
There we go.
Yeah.
And look at all the sports
the skinny
that they
one.
have and everything. Yeah. That's a pretty amazing picture because again, these older pictures you don't get to see very often. Now, I'm going to ask you, is everybody labeled? Do you know everybody in the picture?
No.
I'm going to say
just my
Facebook it.
My great grandparent used to place an arrow where he was standing, and his initials. So we would know who's he, but the other ones I don't know.
I love that. Okay. And thank you for putting that up because this is really cool, but it also shows the kind of a little bit of a history of migration and how they brought some things that they loved to the new country and created a group and a club around it. And if we just look at like census reports and things like that, we miss this fun stuff. Yeah. We miss the things in between, which I know that Vicki will talk about in a little bit. Okay, celebrate your ancestor with a common connection. So I'm going to go, I think did you go through the Dr. Mary Louise Brown last time?
No.
I think she might be my newest one. I think that's the only one that we have left, but I'm glad you didn't go through it because Dee asked about or mentioned Dr. Mary Louise Brown, and she is the daughter of a USBH project notable, Bishop John Mifflin Brown. So she was a physician and a teacher and devoted over 25 years of her life serving the African-American community in Washington, D.C., but she was also the first African-American woman to receive a wartime medical commission when she joined the Red Cross. So this is really kind of amazing. But the thing that I want to mention as well is she has a Wikipedia page. And I wonder why she's not also a U.S. Black Heritage notable in WikiTree. And we look at her.
Just need to probably message.
Yeah. And we look at she's got a fantastic, this is fantastic Wikipedia page. So when I come back over, and I think now she does have it. Let's go ahead and click on her profile. I think now she does have her notable. Oh, she doesn't. Okay. So as Azure mentioned, and Emma responded as well as Melanie, but it's like Dee. She's not a notable only because no one brought her to our attention. So all you got to do is if you have somebody who's a notable for a project that you know easily fits into a project in WikiTree, just reach out to that project and they will help you out. Now, you know, I know that sometimes a notable could be many different projects. Like she could be probably maybe a Washington, D.C. notable as well, something like that. So reach out to a project and they'll help you navigate how to make this person officially a notable in WikiTree. But I love Emma's answer, only because we didn't know. But now that we know, Dee, I think you're watching. Dee, make her notable. Put a notable sticker on her profile. And if you don't do it, I'll do it like 5 minutes after we're done with the wrap. But it does bring another question. So if you just use the notable sticker, and it says sticker, that will mean that they are notable. There's something called a project box. And that you should probably go ahead and talk to Emma at USBH to see if she would get a project box, which means that this profile would also be managed by a specific project. But anybody can put on a notable sticker if it follows the notables rule, which are pretty easy. I think you got to have a Wikipedia page. That's the general rule in 3 different languages. And I'm only talking about deceased. I'm not going to go into living notables. So it's a whole different thing. And yep, there we go. Anybody can put a notable sticker if they qualify. You don't have to go.
Right.
But if you feel comfortable going to a project or uncomfortable with putting it on and want to go to a project, I highly recommend going to a project. All of us love to hear about notables. There's not one leader that doesn't get all giddy when we hear about any notable, because we want to know too. So even if you put the sticker on, we're curious. We want to know as well. Okay.
Well, and it's nice too, just as a side note, when we have our WikiTree Challenge guest stars, we like it when those notable stickers are out there, right? Because if it falls within their CC7, then we can, share that with them. And they love hearing about notables just like we do. So
I agree. I mean, I wonder if there's a way, I don't know, is there a way that we can find out how many notables we are connected to within a certain degree? I think that would be a
CC7 equal your profile ID, and then just type in notables in the text search in WikiTree Plus, and that'll bring it up.
But definitely look at it. And don't be shy. If you find a notable,
just that easy.
Add them.
And like Mel says, dead notables only need one Wikipedia page in any language or a dictionary of national biography page. So
that's right.
Because it might not be on Wikipedia, but for that country, it might be that person is really notable. So they should be.
Yes. Or you could create a Wikipedia page if you that would be really awesome to have more. That's one thing I think some people were a little nervous to do, but that would be awesome to have more of those.
Yeah, Wikipedia is like WikiTree. Anybody can contribute. Yeah. So you just
and it uses a similar coding, right? It's
wiki
like
markup.
wiki language, wiki markup, right?
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
Yeah, well,
that's the tour. Consider this Betsy's tour.
Yeah. Well, I went ahead and shared my screen, but now I will. I will show you something. Just continuing with our ancestors from March. This is my great grandfather, the one we saw in the picture. You're looking at his profile?
Yeah.
Are you seeing it? Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This was the one who was in the picture of sports.
Oh,
and
great.
I also mentioned him. Let's see. He was so handsome. Why don't I? There. I'm opening the picture. I also mentioned him last week. There he is. I mentioned him because he has a connection to March also. He was born on March 11. And the funny fact that I mentioned last week is that if you see this, he had 5 children, and this is my my grandfather, sorry, and he was born March 11, only 1931, same day, same date. And
Wow.
he has another son born on March 11. So only 5 years after my grandpa. So
Wow,
that's
that's really cool.
a funny fact. Sports and March connection. So, but now let's see our member of the week, shall we? Heather Jones? Shall
Yay!
we proceed? Yay, with our interview. So, Heather, what can you tell us about your connection with the Appalachian project? Now we have here Sandy. We know you're a member of that project.
Biscuits.
So, biscuits. So, let's hear
Biscuits, yes.
from you.
My connection is through my husband. His mother is Appalachian. And so I've spent a little bit of time up in the Pulaski, Virginia area is where she's from. And so whenever I saw the Appalachian Project last year, I'm like, I need to be a part of this. I want to see what, because it's just the whole culture and the whole Appalachian region has always interested me. And so I tease with them and say, yeah, I'm not a true Appalachian by blood, but by heart, I am.
If you're interested, you're in.
And
yeah,
so
and biscuits. You have to love biscuits. That's the other.
Yes,
Yeah.
we love biscuits.
Oh,
we love biscuits.
Yeah. Well, and how did you get involved in genealogy? Tell us about your connection with that.
So when I was a child, both sides of my family, I was fortunate. They always talked about, the stories of the past and the people who came behind us. And some of the stories are quite interesting. And when I was 8, 10 years old, this fellow came to interview my grandmother because he was writing a book on the Harrises. And so that sort of gave me the bug, seeing all those family charts and having my grandmother fill everything out and tell everything she knew. And so over time, I've dallied with it here and there. My mother back in the 80s got into it pretty heavily, and I would help her. And so then once I retired, I really got back into it. But I've worked what I'm trying to do now is trying to go back and make sure everything's properly sourced and find all the documents that I can. And like with the new full text search with family search and things like that, I've been able to find a lot of documents that actually prove some theories and disprove a lot of theories.
That's fun.
that family lore. I was a teacher. I came back out of retirement. I teach part-time now.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's great. Great.
Yeah.
And you're involved with other projects too, with the cemeteries and the adoption angels.
Yes.
So can you tell us what you're working on and how people could get involved in those projects and help?
So with cemeteries, what I do is I try to add the cemeteries because I'm from a small rural area. My husband's mother from a small rural area, and some of those cemeteries are not, we're not even in WikiTree. So I'm trying to add the cemeteries and trying to add profiles as I go. And I'm a little turtle. I'm pretty slow and steady. I do a little bit at a time on WikiTree. But so there's like the cemetery for my church has about 250 people in it, and I haven't checked recently, but very few of them are there. but just adding, cemeteries, making sure that people are represented and show where they are now. So if you want to go honor them, and so I know we have Find a Grave, but I like having it on WikiTree. With the Adoption Angels, I have just recently joined that group for that project, and we try to help people find their birth parents. The first one I worked on, bless his heart, he decided in the end that he didn't want to find out much about his birth family after all. And so now I have picked up another one, and I'm waiting on hearing back. But we research the genealogy based on what they know, and follow the DNA and see if we can find their family.
And it's free.
Where they came from. Yes.
Wow. It's amazing. That's an amazing work.
And I
You're
just
doing.
want
It
to
is.
thank Heather for her work that she does do in Appalachia. We are going to find that connection. We have a Robertson connection that we're going to find, especially in
We're going to
Alaska.
find it. Yeah.
But you
Robinson.
yeah, we're
something.
definitely.
We are.
The cemeteries and how they're small, royal, and things like that. Just so you guys know, in Appalachia, I know it's elsewhere too, but in particular, what we work on with cemeteries, we love working on these, we call them hidden family cemeteries, because people usually say go to the end of the road, take a right at the sweet gum tree, but for example, if we didn't document these when Hurricane Helene came through the Carolina and Tennessee, those are gone. So if they weren't documented, they are gone. The cemeteries, the people buried there, they are gone. And so this hits home for us really hard sometimes in Appalachia when we see that. And I think, Heather, I don't know if you're okay with me sharing, but I will. You just
Go for it.
You just documented one that had stones. And could you tell us
12 field stones?
Wow.
And I ended up making a profile, a free space page for it.
That's amazing.
But 12 just field stones, and 2 that were just marked as, one of them said infant children of, and I figured out who those parents were and the connection there, and then another one was just an infant daughter of. But 12 just field stones, and then 12 marked graves.
And those are tough. Those take research. Those are tough. But thank you for giving them acknowledgement that they had a life, that they were there. They were here.
Well, that's why I think all of this is so important. And I try my best, like the people who never married and had children, or they died when they were 17 years old, or the babies. I try, that's because I want them to be remembered somehow.
Yeah. I agree.
That's your inspiration, right? It's what moves to do all this. It's amazing. And maybe you can share by your private chat. Maybe you can share the link for that free space page. It's really interesting. I would like to take a look at that.
And that's fresh off the presses, I think, too, right? I think.
I'm sorry?
That's fresh off the presses. You just created that, right?
I did.
Amazing.
And
maybe you can share. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to mention that Heather has a blog. We were talking before going live, so maybe you can share the link for that too, for us to read and support your blog. So
that is chasingthepast.net.
Okay. And what is it about? I mean, you were talking about it, the last post you did. It was really inspirational too.
The reason why I started it was to document my family's history. I have a lot of ephemera and things from my families, and which that has been a lot bigger project than I had originally thought it would be. I thought it would be so easy just to kind of post things, but like one of my great grandfather was a justice of the peace, And so he has all of these things where all of the papers where he would do this as a justice of the peace and do this as a justice of the peace. And I want to try to offer those items for the people that, not only for our family, but for the people that he was working with or working for or bonded out. And so I try to find, like, you know, Henry Melton was on, you know, this document. Well, who was Henry Melton? How can I, you know, and so maybe Henry Melton's descendants might find it sometime. And so I'm not real good with writing a story. I'm not a wordsmith, but I'm working on that and trying to get better with it. I have love letters between my grandparents that where the great grandparents that they wrote back and forth. She showed up in PD and taught for a year, and they started courting, and then she went about an hour and a half away, and so they would write letters back and forth, and then decided, hey, you come pick me up, and we're going to get married, and that's what they did. So I want to make all that, and then my research that I'm doing, trying to prove, family lore said this. This is right, this is right, this is wrong, this is why. So I'm just trying to put all of that up there. Most of it deals with Central North Carolina, Montgomery County, North Carolina. I do have some, of course, of my Appalachian connections, but the entirety of my family has been right here within about a 50-mile radius since the 1800s. Or before.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get back to that free space page.
And your last blog was about that time too, about a cyclone?
Yes, the Great Cyclone of 1884, which came, an enigma of tornadoes. It was a superstorm that came through the southeast United States. And it hit North Carolina pretty hard, the worst tornado, most deadly tornado still to this day. And it hit my little community and ran up the river and hit several of my ancestors lost their homes, lost family members. I think a cousin and I have a pretty accurate list of based on all the different news reports on the families that were hit and the people that died. But it's a really interesting story, and my area is underrepresented on there's a wiki page for it, but just kind of mentions my area in passing. And so I just wanted to honor those from my community, my collateral, who were affected by that.
Yeah, and that's your legacy.
Yes, it's my legacy, and hopefully Cousin Bate, and hopefully I can give this bug to someone else in my family.
Great.
That's key, right?
I hope it does.
Is finding others to take over our work, or at least dig in and help side by side.
Yeah.
I would just like someone to talk to that knows the people that I know that would be, interested. I start talking and they're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we know how that feels like. I wanted to highlight that something you shared a tip for people who wants to get more involved in our community. So you say join a project that interests you. That's a good tip. And I wanted to highlight this. With the recent changes to WikiTree, I feel like the website is a lot more streamlined and user-friendly. Yeah, so that's a great news. Yeah, I think we're getting used to it, and it's great. It's feeling great. And you say now is a great time to start adding to and connecting your ancestors. And I wanted to mention that because we have a next Connected-thon on April 11th. So maybe Asher, you'd like to mention something about that before we
Sure.
finish?
Yeah. Just to mention, I shared your blog link there
Oh, thank
in
you.
the live chat, and then also I shared it. I went ahead and awarded you the bloggers badge because we have
Oh,
that as part of the
Yay.
Ambassadors Project.
thank you.
And then, so if anybody's interested in seeing, we have a page. It's a help page, help bloggers, and it lists blogs by different WikiTreeers out there. So I just wanted to mention that since you were talking about your blog.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay! This is new. This is new. We haven't given batches live. Yay. So Heather, are you in any team for this Connectathon?
I am. I'm on the Grave Guardian team, so I support the Appalachian Project, and now another Discord server has come up with Dynasty Destroyers, so I'm going to be supporting them from the sidelines as well. But I try to focus on. That's when I try to focus on connecting people from the cemeteries, from my local cemeteries.
Okay,
That's great.
yeah. And what about you, Sandy? I bet you're with the Appalachia Project.
I think so.
Sure.
Yeah. So I have my team. I started back, I think it was about a year after I joined WikiTree. I started Western Red Cedars, and so I've had that since then. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you
with the
for
Globetrotters.
Oh yeah, awesome! That was a new team. I think a couple marathons ago. We have one more new team this year, which Heather just mentioned. So I just wanted to mention a few things about the Connectathon. I don't know if you watched, but as I was sharing my screen, showed you how to get here. Just go to help, and then the community forum, G2G, and it's pinned at the top. And I'm going to just share that link in the chat. And right in the just a second, let me type this in. I can't type and talk about something at the same time here. Let's see. So right here in the main part of the post, you can click on this link. Which team would you like to play for? Okay. And if you open that up, you'll see it takes you right to this table of all the different teams. So there's country teams, and then there's U.S. state and regional teams, and then there's non-regional teams. And you'll see the first one there is a new team. And over here on the right-hand side is a link to register for the different teams. So that's really kind of the best way to get to register for your team is from this page. So if you click on that, it takes you to that link. And I know some people experience this thing where it tells them when they try to comment, it tells them it's a duplicate answer or whatever. Just put in your WikiTree ID and say for the team, and then that in itself is going to be unique, right? Because it's your WikiTree ID. So that'll make it so that you don't get that error. So just a little tip there. That's all I was going to share about that.
Okay, great. So, well, we lost Heather. Oh, sorry. I will add her because we didn't say goodbye or thank you, Heather. I'm sorry. We went talking about the Connectathon because I wanted to link your tip for others to be inspired. So thank you for this interview. It was really interesting to get to know you. We'll read more about your blog. And congrats on that badge.
Thank you.
That we just revealed. Any final words?
I really love the mission of WikiTree and bringing people together, and I like the little checks and balances that we have, and I'm really glad to be a part of it. And Appalachian team is amazing.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for coming today. So stay with
Thank you
us
very much for having me.
if you want to. Yes, of course. It was an honor. And I will share now my profile makeover of the week. This is the last week of March. So I'm going to share. Oh, sorry. I just closed my window. We had a suggestion for a theme during March, because in Chile, children start school on March. So I said, well, that's a good theme for March. And Lisa, or dear Lisa Gervais, who's in the chat, she found this profile of someone named School. That was super clever. Thank you, Lisa. You found Mary Anna, who was born School, and she married Antonius Arnoldus Arnoldusen. Wow. And she had this profile with nothing about her. We didn't know who her parents were, had no siblings, no biography, just these two facts: when she was born, when she passed away. So Lisa turned that profile into this. And this is interesting because we're now seeing that the before pictures have the old WikiTree look and feel, and now the new ones are with the new design. So now Mariana has a father and mother. She has siblings. She has a biography, a proper biography, and she also is a part of the Kokona, Wisconsin One Place Study. So she has a sticker on her profile, and now we know that she was born in Wisconsin, that she lived with her parents and siblings in Wisconsin. She married Antonius Arnoldusen on 1887, sorry, and they had 12 children. That's a lot. 12 children. And yes, and they were from Dutch descendants. That's where they came from, the Arnoldusen. That's
Great
what
job
I found out.
on the profile.
Yeah, it's amazing because now we have a lot of profiles associated with her. I'm not sure if Lisa created them all, but now we have a lot of sources. Now we know that Marianne, until 30 something, was married to Anton, but she was a widow at 40. So she had to go on with her 12 children, and she was a farmer. She was the head of household until she passed away when she was 61, really, really young. But these are the sources. We also have an obituary, and this is her find a grave memorial, and this is here. It's her name, Anna Arnoldusen, the mother, and this is her family. We have her family here. So great work. Thank you, Lisa, for this profile makeover and for giving Mariana a life and a biography. And now we can have a feel of what her life was like in Wisconsin. So that's it. Thank you, Lisa.
Amazing.
So yeah, and I like the way that we're now seeing the difference between the old WikiTree and now it looks old. Don't you think? It looks like outdated. Yeah, I like
I love seeing the profile makeovers that you share each week. I love seeing what people are doing with profiles. So great.
Yeah, because we put so much love into it. I really like to see the generosity of our community.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So now, shall we proceed to the profiles of the week? Azure?
Sounds good. Okay, I'm Greg.
Hey!
So this week is famous teachers connection checkers. And I just wanted to mention too, just that my screen sharing, I'm sharing WikiTree without any extensions on it.
Oh.
So just so you guys know what you're seeing. This is native WikiTree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the teachers that we're showing today, I think they did it because Roberta Flack just passed away recently. So she's our kind of main profile of the week. So I just want to share a few things about her. We also had her as a spotlight profile of the week because she's in the Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame. So there's a short out there for her. So she is the daughter of Laron Leroy and Irene Margaret. And she was born in 1937. And like I mentioned, she just passed away the 24th of February. So when I was researching her profile, she has on her Wikipedia profile that she was a junior high and high school teacher. So she taught music and English. And she also gave private piano lessons at her home. And
I'm so sorry we don't have Greg and Betsy to hear this.
No, it would have been perfect, right?
Yeah.
So she is not only a singer, which most people really, I think people remember her for, Killing Me Softly or The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. Those were, I think, some of her most popular songs. But she also wrote songs and was a pianist. She's a Grammy Lifetime Award recipient. And she was also honored or awarded honorary doctorate in arts at Long Island University. And she has an honorary doctorate from Berklee College of Music. So I thought that was cool. And the DAR Women in American History Award she received for her early career connection to nearby Mr. Henry's Neighborhood Bar. So there was a restored fire call box, and that's what it's about. It's really interesting reading about her on her Wikipedia profile. Her WikiTree profile is good too, but it's kind of brief. So it'd be great if someone could add to that. As I mentioned, she did get #1 Ziggles for a couple of those songs that she sung beautifully. So if somebody wanted to improve those profiles, that would be wonderful. She only has 134 connections, so it'd be great if that could also be increased so that we could all find maybe a closer connection to her. That's part of what this the connection checkers is. It's a way for us to say how do we connect, and the game is to verify those connections each step in the path.
Yeah, she has so little connections, and I guess that's why she's the furthest for many of us. Yeah.
So that would be awesome if we could improve that number. Sandy has this really great image she had for when she was doing the spotlight profile about increasing the CC7, that little circled thing you did. I love that. That's really cool.
I hope people know to jump in. Don't be just because they're notable. Jump in, or if you think, well, she's probably part of USBH, I can't do it. Jump in. Increase the 67. I would love, because I think she's 34 for me. What is she for you guys? I know she's pretty far.
Yeah, I think
I'm looking for it.
Oh, let me just double check. I think where was I?
Oh, I'm 46.
Wow, yeah. I'm at 31.
So
Yeah.
I bet we can make that. And we were talking about too. I mean, when she sung, you felt it. You know, some
Yeah.
people sing and you have fun with it, but when she sung, you felt it.
Yeah.
So,
Right in the heart.
and I'm going to guess because she just recently passed away, her profile is now open. So maybe that's why her
Mhm.
biography is light.
Yeah,
You think?
definitely.
Oh. Mhm.
And I love her middle name, Roberta Cleopatra Flag. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I never knew that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Alexander Graham Bell is our next profile. Born in Scotland in 1847 and died in Canada in 1922. And I really appreciated the work that was done on his profile and learned a lot of things I didn't know about him. He was a teacher, so his connection to teaching was that he taught the deaf, including Helen Keller. I didn't know that. So we know him as the inventor and known for the work on the telephone, but also the teacher aspect. And his father, grandfather, and brother had all been associated with work on elocution and speech, which I thought was really interesting. His mother and wife were also deaf. So he had, a really close connection to that whole community
Uh-huh.
of deaf.
Azure,
Yeah.
we have an interesting comment
Okay.
from Tia, and she's 17 degrees from Graham Bell, and she says he was a personal acquaintances with my second grade grandfather, I guess, Ben Rounds. They met when Bell was studying the deaf.
Wow.
Rounds was deaf and went to college, and Ben became editor of the Akron Register.
Wow,
Amazing.
that's awesome.
Really,
Great.
really
Thanks for
close
sharing that.
testimony. Yeah, thank you.
We love hearing personal connections like that. It's
Amazing.
it makes them I don't know, it makes you feel like you're getting to know them and their personality better.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of groundbreaking women, Helen Mirren or Miranoff was her birth name. Another one with low connection count, and she is living, so she's got project protected profile from the England and Notables Project. But she is really very interesting. I was reading up on her in preparation. I didn't know a lot of the things I was reading about her. She did attend a teaching college, which is now known as Middlesex University. And she is one of the ones that has an EGOT. She's got the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. But she is the only actor who also has the British awards, the BATA and the BAFA, as well as the Olivier Awards. So she has that double crown thing going on there that she's won all 7 of those awards. So that's pretty amazing and groundbreaking, I'd say. So she was awarded the Lifetime Achievement BAFTA and the Screen Actors Guild. And then she is the only actress to portray both Queen Elizabeth. And something I thought was really interesting that is noted on her profile in her Wikipedia article is that her maternal grandfather served as the butcher for Queen Victoria. So I thought that was kind of interesting. All right. So, any comments about her? Anybody want to share anything about her or their connection to her?
My favorite movie.
I had no idea she. Sorry. She's amazing. I didn't know she was a teacher.
That is amazing.
No idea.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to turn on, for this one, I want to turn on the
Ooh.
browser extension, the WikiTree browser extension, just really quickly here for
Let's see.
Ralph Waldo Emerson. Let's see here. Just because I think I have a close connection to him, so I want to check that. And I know it shows it on the WikiTree browser extension. So you guys can see that,
Yes.
right? Okay, let me,
Oh, there it is.
let's see. Here we go. I have to be in the right one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here he is. Fifth cousin, 6 times removed. I
Wow.
thought there was a connection. But this is in one of those profiles and notables that has a lot of connections.
Wow.
26,613 connections here. That's pretty amazing.
Wow.
All right. So, and another thing, since I turned on my browser, WikiTree browser extension, I just wanted to point out that now when you have the WikiTree browser extension turned on, it says it right here
Ooh, cool.
at the top of the screen so that you know you have it on. Isn't that great?
Great. Yeah. Super
Addition. I love that.
cool. Great.
All right. So Ralph Waldo Emerson, of course, is known as an author and leader of the transcendentalist movement of the mid-19th century. And so he taught at family-run schools. That's really interesting. And one thing I saw on his profile that I thought was really cool is that his dad, not that this is cool, but his dad died young. So his maternal aunt, I think, let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's his paternal aunt, kind of helped the family, helped his mother, kids and everything. And actually he continued writing to her until her death, which I thought was really neat to, keep that relationship and writing. I'd love to see those letters. Can you imagine having that kind of a long correspondence with Ralph Waldo Emerson? Goodness. Such an interesting gentleman.
Is that a real photo? Or is it a portrait? Or
yeah, this is him.
Painting.
Yeah, and you can this is him. There's 3 images for him here on his profile, which I love. Nice this little carousel.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so lots of interesting. His profile has a lot of interesting information about him. And one thing I thought was interesting was that the Canterbury section of Roxbury, Massachusetts, where he wrote and studied nature, they have now called this area Schoolmaster Hill.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. All right. So anybody else have close connections to Emerson? He has a lot of colonial...
A lot of connection.
Yeah, colonial roots there.
Yeah, I'm 23 degrees from here.
Yeah. I'm 18.
Wow. Okay. So Hugh Jackman, I won't go over him too much. We just actually had him back in January when we did Australia. Of course, we love Hugh Jackman, and he is still living. So his profile is project protected. And he taught at Uppingham School in England as a physical education teacher.
Oh,
can you imagine having him as a PE teacher? Now, come on.
Really?
So this is another one that definitely could use some CC7 work. Let's get some more connections for him. He's only got 140. So it'd be great to add some missing links there.
So we can get closer to him.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
Unaccepted.
All right. right. So the next up profile is Lyndon Baines Johnson, born 1908 in Texas and passed away in 1973, also in Texas at the LBJ Ranch. And he has quite a few connections, but we can always use more, right?
Mhm.
Got 3,653. What's that?
Oh, no, nothing.
Okay. So the U.S. President's Project manages his profile, of course. And it's going to be one of those, I think it's probably one of those 5-star profiles that we have out there. Lots of great images and information. I did learn some when I was researching his profile that I didn't realize he was a teacher. So that was first off that he was on the list was information for me. But not only the 36th president, but he also taught at a Mexican American school for children in the segregated Wellhausen School in Cotulla, Texas. And then he also taught at Pearsall High School before taking teaching public speak. Before he started teaching public speaking at the Sam Houston High School. So lots of teaching for him. Lots of different ways but that first teaching experience that he had really kind of impacted him in his politics, I think, at the beginning of his career, is what it has quote for him on his Wikipedia profile. So if you're interested in learning more about that, check that out. Okay. So next up we have Stephen Butler Leacock. Does anybody know if it's Stephen or Stephen?
Nope.
Closest.
Nope.
Is he your closest?
Yeah, and I've never heard of him before. So see what you learn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So born 1869 in Hampshire, England, and then died in 1944 in Toronto, Canada. And so things I was learning about him, so he's author and political activist, but because of financial difficulties, he had to leave university to work as a teacher. And it's interesting. It says it's an occupation he disliked immensely.
Oh.
So he worked at the Strathroy Uxbridge, and finally at Upper Canada College, which was his alma mater. And he has 1,889 connections. So again, if we could use more. I mean, when do we really have enough? Really? All right. And so this is our next profile, Sharon Krista McAuliffe. Is it McAuliffe? Okay.
Yes.
She only has 79 connections.
Oh, no, really?
She definitely needs some work at the end for her.
Oh, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So get to work, people. Maybe
somebody talking about
take this
groundbreaking women.
Yeah.
So so she taught American history at high school in Maryland, and I really looked into her profile on Wikipedia. Thought it was interesting that the day after John Glenn orbited Earth in Friendship 7, she told a friend at Marianne High, "Do you realize that someday people will be going to the moon?
Oh, wow.
Maybe even taking a bus, and I want to do that." So I thought that was really interesting. And she wrote on her application, "I would like to participate." So she said, "I watched the space age being born. I want to participate." Thought that was really interesting. All right.
This is true. Like Chris said, I don't know how many of you did, but it was a big deal to watch this. To watch any, it was a big deal. But because she was a teacher, a lot of us thought is an everyday person like us. And I still remember watching the explosion, and I kept thinking it was, just that separation. It was normal. but then all the announcers got quiet, went and talked, and I go, "What's going on?" So it was. If you watched it live, I bet it's one of those moments where you still are kind of stunned at what happened. But I can't. Yeah, we need to improve for CC7.
Yeah, when it happened when I was 10, and they had actually brought the TV into the classroom.
Oh wow!
So our whole class.
Wow.
Same.
Oh no.
Can you imagine being your teacher and explaining that too? Because you probably did a lot of assignments building up to it and
Yep.
excited and wow.
Yeah.
We knew we knew everything we could know about her, as kids. They
Yeah.
talked about her all the time, and we learned about where she was from and all of that. So
tough.
yeah. All right. So next up, we have Diana, Princess Diana, and we've of course had her on the example profiles of the week before, but just to share here that I didn't know that she was a teacher. So that was
Yes, she
and
was
a nursery teacher's assistant.
The famous photo that she had with a child in her arms. And no, I don't know if we can talk about this, but she had no slip on. So scandalous.
Yeah. So of course
she's my closest.
Is she?
Yes. Oh, how cool.
Yes. At 18 degrees.
Cool. So born in 1961, of course, in Norfolk, England, and passed away in 1997 in Paris. And let's see. Of course, she's got a beautiful profile that the England Project, manages this profile. So, of course, it's one of those wonderful profiles that we have. I think this might even be one of those example profiles. And let's see what category she has for. Let's see. This day in history. Featured royalty. Nope. I thought she might be on one of those example profiles that projects share, but she's certainly got a beautiful profile. If you're ever wondering, how should a profile look? This would be one I think that you could go out and take a look at.
That's a good point. Because you're right. This is amazing what they've done. Is this England project?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 7,199 connections for her. Okay. And then up next is Hillary Clinton, and she is still living. So her profile is managed by the President's Project as a spouse of a previous president. And so it's kind of a little bit brief because of being still living. And let's see. That's right. We don't have. Let me turn on the extension and see if we can get how many connections she has since she's notable, or doesn't have it. Maybe. Okay. I was thinking it would be on here, but it's not. I was hoping to see how many connections she has.
Oh.
Let's see.
Tia says, wish I was further from Clinton. That's fun.
Yeah, so
she's my closest.
Is she?
It's 16 degrees, but yeah.
Well, that's getting pretty close. And of course, she taught at the University of Arkansas School of Law. So that's her connection to teaching. And then, this one, Mark, let's see, on his Wikipedia profile, of course, this one is also still living. So a brief profile there on WikiTree. But I think on his, here we go. This is my cheat. They have on here. I can play the audio. I don't know if it'll come across. Did you guys hear that? Could you guys hear?
No, but I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes if they have the template in place, you can it'll play the pronunciation for you. So for the last name, because it's Dutch. So he served as Netherlands Prime Minister and NATO Secretary General, and he taught social studies at Johan de Witt College. So there's his connection to the teachers post. Okay, so the last one, we have another living profile and another project protected profile, Cheryl Crow. And see, now why didn't Hillary have, this is what I was looking for on Hillary's profile.
Yes.
And it wasn't there. I wonder why it wasn't there on that one. Let me just double check something. I have to see.
I know, because we'll forget, right? We gotta figure it out.
And we're learning, so it's useful for all of us.
Okay, I think the reason why it's not on her profile is because she doesn't have the notable sticker.
Notable.
And so Cheryl Crow, does have the notable project, project box. So this would trigger that right here, the notable connection thing here. So there's the reason why I didn't show on Hillary's. It's because she doesn't have the notables project box or sticker. Okay. So sorry, folks. I had to solve that little mystery.
No, it's great.
Yeah. Okay, so Cheryl Crow is, of course, most people know that she is a musician, songwriter, but she also taught elementary music students. So I didn't know that. That was really cool to learn that. That's why I love these posts that we get. We always coming at the profiles from different aspects of their life. So it's kind of cool. And I didn't realize she was awarded the Golden Plate Award from the Academy of Achievements. So that's really interesting. And I didn't know anything about what is Academy of Achievements. So I had to look it up, of course. Our curiosity, that's what genealogists are.
I love it.
Curious, right? So on her Wikipedia article, they have, let's see here. Let me just do a search. Golden Plate. There it is. It's called Globes.
Golden
Here we
Plate.
go. So the American Academy of Achievement is a nonprofit educational organization that recognizes some of the highest achieving people in diverse fields and gives them the opportunity to meet one another. I had never heard of it. So
me either. That's cool.
Kind of interesting.
So I assume when they say get ability to meet each other, I mean, a play on words too, the Golden Plate, maybe they sit down and have a meal or something.
Yeah. They get together, I think, once a year and have like they induct new people.
That's pretty cool.
Very interesting. So she is another one that was another musician in our list, and she was awarded an honorary doctorates from the University of Missouri, which was her alma mater, and the Southeast Missouri State University. And just a little note, I love music and instruments and everything. So on her Wikipedia article, it brings out that when she first was getting started, she performed extensively with the 1962 Gibson Country Western guitar. And they actually, because she was worried about it not being able to last through, all travel and performances and everything, Gibson actually made a Cheryl Crow version for her. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's a recreation.
Wow.
All right. So, like I mentioned, please help us grow those connections. Maybe you want to take one of the profiles and work on building the CC7 during the Connect-a-thon. If you need something.
Right.
That would be a fantastic idea.
That is a good idea.
So down here at the bottom of this post that Abby does each week, it talks about how you can verify your connection, and you can check the Connection Checkers Hall of Fame. And it talks about if you are interested in helping others or how to get help. And so check all that out. That's really fun. And just a note, next week is Boxer's feature. And if you put this link here that she's got, you can help with that next week's free feature. Each week she not only she tells you this week's featured profiles, but she tells you, okay, here's going to be what the next week is going to be all about. So if you have ideas to share for or suggestions for who should be part of that feature, that's your chance to pitch in and help out. That's what this is all about, collaborating.
Great.
All right. So what is happening around WikiTree in March? There's not many days left to March.
Just 2 days.
Just 2 days. So we have this Saturday roundup, and then on Monday, of course, the 31st is the last day of the month, but we'll have that new question of the week that's posted each Monday. And then Murray Maloney and Greg and the tech team, the apps project team, will have their Tech Talk Zoom. So that's down here at the last item on this list. So check that out. I actually have the post up here, and I'll share it in the live chat. If you have questions about technology and WikiTree, please post there. Pose your answer or your questions there, and they can answer your questions if you don't get a chance to attend. It's open to everybody. Please check it out. Ask your questions. Because if you have a question, even if you think, well, maybe it's a stupid question or it's not, maybe you're shy about it, don't be shy at all, because you never know. There might be 10 other people that are thinking the same thing, or, so go ahead, ask questions. We love questions. Because sometimes that's
and I'm sure.
Go ahead.
I'm sure with the new design, there will be a lot of questions, especially about the extensions, about about the WikiTree browser extension.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our doubts, so
yes,
there will be a lot of questions.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and that's why we do it on Zoom, so that we can have a lot of people. And then if you didn't get a chance to attend and you want to see it, we actually have we post those out on YouTube after the fact, so you can catch those on the replay. And those are all linked. See, there you go. Our first session was a popular success. He's got a link here for you, and it's linked on the space page that he has there for you. So he says, "Be fair or be square." I love it. All right. Okay, so let's talk about the social media. Oh, just back to what's happening briefly. AON does that post at the end of the month for the next month. So check, keep looking for that. Usually it's pinned at the top of the G2G, so you'll be able to find it there. And then on the social media page, we actually have it posted up here too. So when that new post is posted, I'll have it linked here for you. So coming up in next week, thank you, Lisa, for updating the page for us.
Yes, very much.
So, of course, we talked about question of the week coming up on Monday, Tech Talk. And then the one name study for next week is going to be Borden. And Boxers will be our theme for next week for Connection Checkers. We just saw that. And then one place study is, I'm probably going to butcher this, but it's I think it's Castleberry, Lazio,
Mhm.
and that's in Italy, of course. Hi, Chris. And then Ask Alesh is coming up on Wednesday. So we have
Mhm.
Tech Week here coming up next week, I guess. We have Tech Talk on
Yes,
Wednesday, Ask Alesh on Wednesday.
very techy week.
That's
Yeah.
a great way to start a new month.
Yeah, it is, I think.
Yeah.
So Connect-a-thon is going to be, of course, our event showcase. Which team will you be joining? And then in our Hall of Fame, Hollywood Walk of Fame, it will be Carl Weathers will be featured. And then we don't know who our member of the week will be next week, but
Could be you.
stay tuned. That usually goes out on Monday. So stay tuned for that. And then, of course, Sandy, Vicki, and Greg will probably be, I think Greg's coming back next week. So next Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah. And then 12 photos. Next theme for next month in April is couples.
Ooh, that's a
Celebrate
good one.
ancestors for April.
Good theme.
Yeah.
Profile makeover for April. And then 52 ancestors theme for the next week is going to be language.
Mm.
Interesting.
Talk briefly about blogs. Earlier, Chris Ferriello updates both this 52 ancestors and the blog into the blogosphere posts that he does out on G2G. So if you're interested in reading what our WikiTreeers are writing, you can read about that in that into the blogosphere post that he does each week.
And jump in, start writing a blog.
Yeah, check out what everybody's writing, and maybe it'll inspire you to start writing.
And I gotta promote Azure's link back. If you write a blog, link back to WikiTree, and then in the profile that you write about, link to your blog. So that's link builders.
Yes. And if you start a blog, send Aowen or I a message, and we'll get you your blogger's badge and get your blog added to that Help Bloggers page so that WikiTreeers can help support you. And I just wanted to point out on our Saturday Roundup video here, we link in the description the question of the week and the short and connection checkers, spotlight profile. So all these links from the week are here. If you're out there right now and you're wanting some of these links, they're right here on the video description. You just have to look down here. Hey, here's the profile makeover GTG post that Vicki does each month. Go check that out.
Great.
All right. I'll quit talking to you guys.
Yeah. I'm sharing now, repeating. I'm repeating the link for the blogs by WikiTreeers.
Yes.
So you can check that out.
So many bloggers out there.
Yeah.
Blog
Now we
doesn't have to be really long. I think people think a blog has to be a novel. It doesn't. That's one thing that Heather and I and a bunch of us are doing it in Appalachia. We're learning just tidbits, and little bits of information, especially if you got brick walls or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, yeah. So Amanda, the Heather's link, it's a backup in this live chat, but it's also out on Help Bloggers, which is linked there. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Cemetery Space page. Yeah.
Oh, the blog. Yeah, it's there. It's there too. I'll look for that. But we shared it. Let me get that.
Good stuff. All
it's
right.
maybe easier if Heather tells the name.
Chasing the Past is the blog name. Chasing the Past. And then the cemetery space page is very basic, but it's the Bolt Thomas Cemetery in Laurel Fork, Carroll County, Virginia.
Nice.
Great. Yeah,
That's
I'm
great.
curious.
I love it when people start cemetery space pages.
I don't have a picture of it. I don't have coordinates for it. The coordinates are very vague. Hey, we're a half mile above Big Creek on the Danville Pike. So I don't. So I've got to make a trip to Pulaski to see if I can get close to it.
Uh-huh. Well, that will be fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank
All
you for coming. Thank you for joining our livecast. This was great to see you, Asher and Sandy, as usual. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. Sandy, Asher, if you can, please come and join us. We're always happy to have you here. And Heather, thank you so much. We're so glad to
Thank
get
you.
to meet you.
I'll see you in
And
Discord.
for
Yes, you will, Sandy.
yeah, and you gave us a lot of interesting things to see after this livecast and to read. Well, thank you very much, everyone in the audience, in the chat. See you next week, right?
Bye.
And bye. Have a great weekend,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Great week. Bye.